Good evening, everyone. This is James Bush. I am one half of Bush Counseling Services, and today is Thursday, I think it was the 27th. Thursday, the 27th of September. Still week-long, month-long birthday celebration for myself. Tonight, my topic is going to be on, well, you saw it in the description, and the shade room shall lead the way. What's going on, Dewana? Thank you for tuning in. So, yesterday, one of my colleagues, she reached out to me, and there was this article on the Shade Room talking, okay, millennials are causing the divorce rates to drastically increase in the United States. And so when we're looking at that, it says that divorce rates in America has plummeted 18% from 2008 to 2016. And their correlation or their causality of this is that people are waiting longer to get married. Millennials in general are waiting longer to get married or so. And I guess so this was a hurrah, cheer, pat on the back. It's a win for Americans that, we're, I guess, not degenerates or anything like that. We can stay in healthy relationships or so. And I guess it was an attaboy with that. To me, I don't see it as the same way, though, to be honest with you. When we look at Pew Research tells us and demonstrates to us that the level of cohabitation, which for some of us in certain communities we know as shacking up, is on the rise. Many people, it's like what we say is that, why pay for the milk when you got the cow? It's like, why? It's like, I don't have to marry you. I live with you, you live with me, we split the bills as the way we want to, we cohabitate, we shack up. Why do I need to get married with you or so? So when I hear statistics on those things as far as divorce rates and marriage and anything like that, sometimes I feel like those are drastically skewed because of the certain parameters or social norms that we have come to recognize probably over the last maybe 50 to 100 years, and then even beyond that, are drastically being altered right now because of a different mindset, different information that is going out there. Also, too, there's a growing movement nowadays when it comes to with men. So there's this idea that a lot of men don't want to get married or anything like that, and some of that is because of family law practices. There is a general snippet or section of men who feel that they get royally screwed when it comes to the divorce settings and child support, alimony, splitting of wealth and everything like that goes along with that. So, because of that, why get married? And if you want to research it, you can go and type in your Google search. It's called MGTOW, Men Go Their Own Way. And you'll see a bunch of different articles, and even there's stuff on YouTube about a bunch of different articles and stuff on why men shouldn't get married. Thank you, Valerie, for tuning in. And so when we hear the story about divorces and millennials and it's decreasing or anything like that, let's not be fooled. Let's not take that into a different mindset or idea that we're on the up things are getting better. No, I can tell you this. So one of my jobs as a substance abuse therapist is that I perform assessment called a biopsychosocial. Biopsychosocial is a snapshot of your life, generally what you're doing, if you had any medical issues, substance abuse, grief, if you've had any legal issues, parents, familial history, if your family has had anything that has happened to them in regards to substance abuse. So then we have those things called relationships. That's one portion on it. And when I see that portion on it, one of the things that I ask, especially my adolescents, my teenagers, is that, okay, who taught you about relationships? Who taught you about family? Generally a lot of them, they'll say, well, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, or my uncles, aunts, things like that. And what is the biggest thing that you've gotten out of that? Well, the biggest thing that I've gotten out of that is that it's not worth it. So that is a lot of the sentiment that our children are seeing today when it comes to the idea of marriage. And somewhat it is stopping the whole idea before it even starts. It's that marriage isn't worth it. I see my father, I see my mother. They argue all the time. They never talk. They never spend any time together. I've seen more action at the Twilight and Eclipse films than I have seen in my own house. It's some of the things that they would say. And unfortunately, that's the idea. That is the premise when it comes to relationships. Another thing that I noticed in this the Shade Room article was that they were talking about men and women. Women were waiting a lot longer to possibly when they were past beyond the age of 25 to get a lot of their things together in their education, and they had established themselves career-wise, and men were waiting along to the ages of 29 or so. And there's a lot to be said about that. And again, I don't want this to be misconstrued or anything like that, to saying that I'm against waiting or I'm against marrying early or anything like that. Me, I just like to bring up an alternative point of view when I see data or I'm seeing a thought process. And when I saw this, okay, millennials are causing the divorce rate to drastically decrease in the United States, that was just laughable to me. Based on the information and the things that generally I see on the couch on a consistent basis. It is not necessarily about that the divorce rate is decreasing. Yes, we can all look at numbers and we can gather different information or different ideas from what those numbers are meaning. And I mean, great. But however, what is the story behind that? What is the other information that goes along with that statement? And one of my statements is that people generally are not getting married. Again, we are cohabitating. We are staying in relationships, and there is no legally binding agreement between us. Maybe you have a kid. Maybe you have two. Maybe you go in and you buy a house together or so. But as far as you going down before the justice of the peace or going to the courthouse for yourself, what's going on, love doctor? And I'm sorry, how you doing, Valerie? Thank you for tuning in. And so as far as you going to the courthouse or going before the justice of peace and signing a legal contractually agreement that you are going to spend a significant amount of time of your life and you're dedicating your resources with this other individual, it generally does not happen these days because people are afraid of the other aspect of that. So if someone was to ask me, well, what do we do about it? Well, I think it comes from my different mindset now. We have to define, what marriage is. It's become now more of a monetary contractual agreement as opposed to something that people do when they are looking to build something constructively together. And that is another video and another conversation, a topic for another day. But again, for more on this topic and topics like this, visit us at bushcounselingservices.com. I see you, Cornelia. Appreciate you, Sutton. Appreciate you. I did get your brochure, man. I'm combing over it. Looking forward to talking to you in the near future about some of the great ideas that you have with it. You guys take care and be easy.